And I will then share my screen with you and go through this nutrition plan for you. All right.
Sounds good.
And in case you are wondering about the effectiveness of this nutrition plan, this is a white paper that was done on it. And what they found was people starting in obesity. This is women, okay? This was a study done, or this part of it was just done on women, where they've got on the graph here. So women who started in obese class 1, BMI of 30 to 35. The odds of them reaching a normal weight, a BMI of less than 25 within 1 year. On this plan, it's 1 in 3. On the leading weight loss plans in America. So you can,
Wow.
you're talking about Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. I don't know. There's another one like that too. It's 1 in 124.
Pretty good, huh?
So this is 41 times more effective. If you just consider all obese categories combined, it's 1 in 5. And that's not to say that those other 4 don't make it there eventually.
Right.
Right. But as compared to, 1 in 282, and if you look at extreme obesity or obese class 3, it's with any other type of system, it's 1 in 600 that makes it. It's crazy. So, all right. So here's how this whole thing works. As I mentioned before, this is kind of like the old Chinese menu, right? Where you get, so for example, in breakfast, you get 1 from cube A, 1 serving from cube A, 1 serving from cube C, 1 serving from cube E. All right. So what does that mean? Well, cube A is protein. So for ladies, it's 4 ounces of protein unless it's mentioned. For example, right here, we've got cheese at 2 ounces. Whoops. Or eggs, it's 2 for, 2 whole eggs. For guys, it's 3 whole eggs. For milk, it's 8 ounces. Yogurt is 8 ounces. Okay. So unless it specifically says how many ounces next to it, your default is 4 ounces. Okay. And then for guys, it's 6 ounces. And then, and so you have all these different options here. Now, there's only a few options here for fish that I will actually take an exception to, as long as it's not, breaded and deep fried perch or cod. It's a baked fish, free of that sort of thing. Yeah, go ahead and eat it, right? Whether it's cod or anything. I'm not a huge fan of tilapia just because it's really not that good of a fish. Like the way it's farmed and stuff is just not really good. But then you've got, all these other options. Any sort of beans, it's actually 6 ounces. Lentils, it's 6 ounces. Hummus is 4 ounces. And then you've got, nut butters. If you're using it as a protein, it's 2 ounces. Okay. So, and then you've got, tofu's in there as well and all that sort of stuff. So breakfast, it's 1 protein. And then you get category cube C, fruit. So with fruit, it's, 6 ounces is 1 serving, but, if you're having something like an apple, banana, grapefruit, orange, peach, stuff like that, then it's just 1 piece. Unless, I've had some really, really small apples, so that I might weigh out, right? Plums or apples that were like the size of plums. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do 2 of these, right? But nobody became obese by eating too many apples, I don't think.
Right.
So it's 2 pieces of like plums, kiwis, persimmons, 3 apricots, And then any other type of fruit, things that are just going to be much more of a way out sort of a thing. Like you're not going to count 10 strawberries, right? So so strawberries, any sort of berry, grapes, pineapple, some of the bigger fruits, mango, melons, stuff like that. Measure out 6 ounces then. Okay. And then category E for breakfast, you get a grain. This is the only time that you actually get a grain in the weight loss phase of this. Okay. So now these ones up at the top here where it says 4 ounces, that's 4 ounces cooked.
I don't know if you meant to share your screen.
Hmm?
Did you mean to share your screen? Because I don't see anything.
You're not seeing it? Oh,
okay.
Because I'm seeing it and let me see. Share screen. Oh, there we go. I just clicked the wrong thing. Here we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Now, can you see it?
I absolutely can see it.
All right. Good. Now we're on the same track. So as I was saying, go back here, cube A.
Yep.
Right. We've got all these. We got cheese. It says 2 ounces, cottage cheese, 4 ounces, eggs 2. You see that stuff, right? Okay. And then cube C, fruit. We've got 1 piece, apple, banana, nectarine, all these options. 2 of those, 3 of these, 6 ounces of anything else.
Okay.
And basically, if it's a fruit, yeah, you can eat it. If it's not on this list somewhere, and it's a fruit yet, cool. Except for maybe jackfruit, because that's not really, it doesn't really taste like a fruit. It tastes a little more like chicken. All right. So then here we are at cube E. So for grains, you've got 4 ounces. Now this means 4 ounces cooked of these things like millet or potato. If you wanted to even do some white potato, you could, like some hash browns or something like that. But you'd want 4 ounces after it's cooked. Okay. So maybe, if you like something like hash browns or, some sort of like a pan seared potato type of a thing for breakfast. You could do that, but maybe make a bunch of it and store the rest, right? Measure out 4 ounces, eat that and store the rest. Sweet potato, rice, any of that sort of stuff. And actually, interesting note there, especially white potato, if you cook it, white potato and rice both do this. When you cook it and then cool it and then warm it up again, it actually lowers the glycemic index.
Oh, interesting.
Of that food, and it turns it into and it becomes, there's more resistant starch in it after doing it that way. We're not sure why, we just know that it does. All right, so then the other grains, you want to measure out 1 ounce dry, so pre-cooking. So that's things like cream of rice, cream of wheat, your old-fashioned oats. You want to either do old-fashioned oats or steel cut oats if you're going to do an oatmeal. Grits, if you're into them, only just don't make them like with bacon grease and all that. And then a couple of the cereals you can do, like Oat Bran or the original Fiber One cereal, or quinoa flakes, or even Triscuit crackers.
Okay.
My aunt liked having Triscuit crackers in the morning. So, you maybe do a couple ounces of cheese, cheese sticks, some grapes, and some Triscuits. Could be a breakfast for you. One of the ones that I've done in the past, when I ate things like cottage cheese, I would do cottage cheese, grapes, and I'd cut them in half and then mix them in with the cottage cheese, and then put in Fiber One cereal, an ounce of Fiber One cereal on top. I'd even kind of mix that in right before I ate it. And that gave it, it was like sweet, it was savory, it was crunchy. So it all kind of worked for me. Another one I've done in the past is hard-boiled eggs, a banana, and the Fiber One. And then I just like take a bite of the banana and dip it into the Fiber One cereal.
There you go.
So yeah, there's all different kinds of ways that you can do this. that was a more eat on the go type of, or like I got to get going and I got to take my breakfast with me. So,
Right.
um, so that's that. Now for lunch, this is where typically we'd have a salad. Okay. Now it says here salad, 8 ounces, 8 ounces of salad. Now that does not mean 8 ounces of greens, because you'll be chewing all day if you're trying to eat 8 ounces of greens. Okay. It's 2 ounces of greens and a serving of vegetables, which is 6 ounces.
Okay.
Okay. And then just try and for veggies, it's mix up all the different stuff that you are interested in a salad here. Okay.
Mhm.
If it's a vegetable, eat it.
Yeah.
Okay. And especially in a salad, it's a really good idea to try and get as many different colors as you can of vegetables in there. So like
Mhm.
I'll put in red onion for some purple in there. The sweet peppers, the little mini sweet peppers, chop some of those up,
Mhm.
like some yellow and red, some tomatoes, cucumbers, broccoli, cauliflower, um, shredded carrots, all that
Sure.
stuff goes in there. The one thing now, if you're somebody who's like, okay, I do like tomatoes and cucumbers, but that's about all I like in my salad. Well, good, because they're really heavy, so it doesn't take a whole lot to add that in there. But you can do, yeah, mushrooms. Mushrooms are a pretty light one. Snow peas, sugar snap peas, um, summer squash, whatever you want to put. Asparagus. Asparagus is actually raw asparagus is pretty good on a salad too. So yeah, mix and match as you like with the veggies on that up to 6 ounces with
Sure.
2 ounces of greens. And then you get a protein. So whatever protein you want to put on there, whether it's any sort of beans or chicken breast, turkey breast, whatever. Okay.
Mhm.
Then you also get a fruit. So, I mean, if you wanted to throw strawberries in the salad, cool. If you just want to have a piece of fruit, like a dessert type of thing, that's fine too. Okay. And then you also get a fat. That's the category D here. Cube D is fats. Okay. So with fats in there, typically that would be your salad dressing. They do want you to limit the salad dressing to about a tablespoon if you're doing like a regular, got it in the bottle off the shelf type of a thing. One thing with that is to really try and watch for um, sugar or corn syrup or something like that. Watch how much, or what ingredient it is on the list. Okay. You want it to be 5 or later, because
Okay.
the ingredients are listed in order of how much is in there of
Sure.
everything. Yeah. One salad dressing that I like to make is I'll take a tablespoon of olive oil. So there's my fat, right? And then if we cruise down here to the bottom and it says condiments, okay? So these are freebies. So vinegar, including balsamic. So you could just do olive oil and balsamic vinegar. That's great. I even like to add in some lemon juice, another tablespoon of lemon juice, and a tablespoon of mustard, of Dijon mustard into it. So then I've got like basically 4 tablespoons of dressing. So I can really drown it if I want to. And it's actually pretty darn good. And so as long as we're here on the condiments, we've got things like nutritional yeast, any sort of spices is fine. Throw it in there.
Mhm.
Um, capers, lemon or lime juice, mustard, marinara sauce up to 2 ounces, and even salsa up to 2 ounces. Okay.
Mhm.
And that hits the condiment part of it. So if you like something like eggs with salsa on it, you could do eggs with, and instead of you could do eggs with salsa on it, and then and some hash browns or something like that for breakfast, as an example. Okay.
Sure.
And then as long as we're down here, the only other spot that you want to kind of watch here with the vegetables is these vegetables are a little more on the starch side, so we want to use them sparingly, maybe twice a week. Okay. So that's like corn, peas, parsnips, tuna bega, and then more your squashes. Okay. Except for spaghetti squash, that one you can do all you want. Or well, I mean 6 ounces of it. So that's lunch. Dinner, you get again one protein, a serving of protein. And then for dinner, you get 2 servings of vegetables. So it's 12 ounces of vegetables for dinner. And then you get a fat. So you could, put some butter on it if you wanted. I like to actually just have like a tablespoon of peanut butter after my meal as like a little dessert sort of a thing.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. And then one of the cool things with the 12 ounces of veggies is those steam in the bag veggies that you get, the frozen veggies that are the steam in the bag, microwave, pop them in the microwave thing. Those are almost always 12 ounces.
Oh, okay.
So it's super easy. It's like, okay, the whole bag, that's what I'm eating for dinner. There we go. That and my protein and I'm done. So, I like to do it's not actually on the list, but one of the things I'll do is a couple of Boca burgers. And I'll just microwave that and then the steam in the bag veggies and away you go. I know a former client of mine, he turned me on to, and back when I ate cheese, I would do this too. Just the steam in the bag California mix and 2 ounces, and then you put it in a bowl and you throw on 2 ounces of shredded cheese and maybe even microwave it again for 30 seconds to get the cheese a little more melty and stir that up, and there you go. Cheese on top of veggies, and that's dinner. So so that's about. And then if you are coming to, if you feel like you need a snack, try and keep it to a protein and a vegetable if you can. But if you need to do something like, or if you're like, what sounds good to me is an apple and some peanut butter, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
The fruit and the veggies are a little bit interchangeable, a little bit. We don't want to go too crazy on the fruit, but I mean, if it's whole fresh fruit, like I said before, nobody got obese by eating too many apples.
Right.
So if you have an extra apple here or there, and that's another thing for like sweet cravings too. Don't be afraid to grab a handful of grapes, have an apple or part of a banana or something like that. If you've got that, it's just like, okay, I need something sweet. Okay. Some cherries or something like that, as their cherries are coming into season. So, so yeah, I mean, if you absolutely, if you have some sort of craving like that, actually, sometimes a little bit of peanut butter, having some of that fat in there can really help tamp that down if it's a sweet craving. But I'd like you to, if you can, skip the snack. Okay. It's just one of those things, like sometimes if lunch is at noon and dinner's not going to be until 7 or 8 o'clock at night, yeah, I can see wanting to have the snack in there, but I would like to see you coming to the next meal hungry. Okay. All right. Now, when you first do this, like the first week of doing this, this is 2 pounds of fruits and vegetables without the snack every day.
Yeah.
So this is actually a lot of food to eat in a day. And so when I first did this, I found myself at dinner going, I'm full.
Right.
I can't eat anymore. This is a lot of food, you know. Um, but of course, being of that clean your plate club generation, right? You always want to clean the plate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And no matter how full you are, and then but don't let it go to Thanksgiving, you know, that feeling of Thanksgiving, like you know, yeah, if you're full, stop eating, right?
There you go.
Um, and then um, and so yeah, you don't feel like you have to eat all of it, but then like the second week or so, like maybe midway through the second week, the body starts getting used to getting more of the good stuff,
Hmm.
and it's going, yeah, give me that, give me more of that, yeah, come on, here we go. And it starts really working through it then, a lot quicker, and then you're coming to that next meal pretty hungry.
Hmm.
And the best spice in the world is hunger.
Yeah. There you go.
Hunger makes everything taste really good. you know but I mean, you can do some really fun things with this stuff, like
Hmm.
um you know doing more, um like you can do a like dinner could be like a fajita bowl with a couple of different colored peppers and some onions,
Hmm.
really kind of, I've got a cast iron pan, and so it gets that little char on it type of a thing, right? And then throw some chicken in there, and some like taco seasoning, even, a
Yeah.
little bit of that type of thing. You can kind of simmer that in. Although one thing with like the packaged taco seasoning,
Hmm.
one of the first ingredients is sugar.
Oh, geez.
So find, or actually no, flour. I'm sorry, flour. Um, and so I actually found like a do-it-yourself taco seasoning, and took out the flour of it. So it's pretty much, I mean, it's cumin and some chipotle and a few other things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much cumin. So um so you can, put some of that in there, a little bit of water, and kind of saute everything in that a little bit too. And then, put it on some lettuce, maybe throw some avocado on there, some tomatoes or whatever, and it could be really good. Some salsa, and you know,
You're all set.
hmm um, uh, egg roll in a bowl, or unrolled egg roll, another great dinner option. You
Hmm.
know, um, all really, really good stuff. So, I don't know, any questions on any of this?
No, not really. Because I
Okay.
mean, like, as far as the fat goes, the only thing that I really eat out of there would be like the seeds.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes there might be butter or margarine, but yeah, I'm pretty good on, or olive oil maybe, but yeah.
Okay.
My big, like, seriously, my biggest is like something sweet. So
Okay.
eating more fruit, I know helps that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well,
Perfect.
that's about it. Oh, and let me here. So here's the chart, by the way,
Okay.
of that, of
Hmm.
how this system work, how effective this system can be.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, for beast class 1, it's of course going to be the most effective, and that's 1 in 3 will make it there in a year to the normal weight, but it's 41 times more effective.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen uh stuff on Weight Watchers in particular. Let me see, stop share, there we go. That like their average weight loss is something like a half pound, or like 2 pounds in a year.
Oh, geez. Okay.
you know I mean, some people do quite well on it, others do.
Yeah. Hmm.
A lot of others do not, and a
Right.
lot of and a lot of people do quite well on it, and then don't. And then they go back to the way that they ate before, and then they gain the weight again, and then they end up yelling,
Right.
right? So this is designed to be like not just a diet plan for temporary, but no, this is really how we need to eat,
Yes. Yes.
period, you know. And so this, it goes a long way towards, there's a, you know, big movement with dietitians and stuff like that. And one of the big things that they're teaching in colleges now for, and been doing it for quite some time, is the idea of intuitive eating, right? And I mean, I love the idea. I think that is great. And I think that, yes, our body can tell us, hey, we really need a salad today, you know, type of thing, when
Yeah.
we're getting a little too far off a track of it, right? You know, if you think about like the holidays or something like that, you know,
Right.
after a few days of eating the Thanksgiving leftovers, you're like, you know, I could really use a salad.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
been eating a little too much beige lately, you know.
Right.
Too many foods from the beige color group here. Beige or brown, you know, or
Yeah,
white
yeah.
color group, right? Um, and then your body really starts kind of craving. It's like, yeah, I need some greens in here. We need some color, you know, we need some other things, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I do believe our bodies will tell us that sort of stuff, but I think first we need to relearn how it is that we really should eat with a program like this, and then, you know, and get our bodies in tune with, okay, these are the good foods that really help me.
Absolutely. That
Yeah,
makes total
yeah.
sense.
And then you can be a little more of an intuitive type of eater.
Because intuitively, I mean, chocolate just, calls me. So.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's, yeah, that was
You
one
know,
of the arguments that I said to an RD, you know, on
yeah.
online. She was saying something about this or that, you know, or I had commented something on this, and they were like, no, blah blah blah, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know, yeah, like we should eat intuitively. I'm like, my body says it wants donuts and pizza. I
exactly.
don't, you know, that's what my tummy's telling
That's
me.
right. That's it.
I want muffins and cookies. That's what I
Yeah,
want to eat.
right.
Yeah, yeah. And then she really didn't have much of a reply to that. I'm like, well, this is what I want to eat. I don't
Yeah,
know.
right?
You know, so what do you say to somebody that's what they want to eat? You know, listen to your body, you know. Oh, and then when you feel you're full, that's when you should stop eating a little bit before, be mindful about eating it, and stop before you feel you're full. It's like, wow, I just ate 6 donuts. I still really don't
I
feel good.
still feel good. Yeah.
Still feel pretty good. I can I can
I
I
can
can I can
do,
rally. I can go for another.
I can rally. Right on. Right on. Well, very cool. Are you going to send me that sheet?
Yes, I will send you the
Okay.
sheet for it too. You bet.
Okay.
So I'm
Perfect.
going to stop